Welcome, everybody, to another week of Incubator Weekly. Today, we've got on the show Taha and Calvin from TX City, Transaction City. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Yeah, it's going great. It's going great.
Good. Yeah, this week is going to be a little bit more fun than last week. Last week we had the guys on from CrowdNode, and we're talking about their proposal that ended up passing, but it was a little bit of a well, I thought it was going to be more controversial than it actually ended up being. But I was glad to see that happen, even though I didn't support it. It's always good to see. I don't support paying regulators in general, but I understood their situation, and I love to have the DAO vote for whatever the DAO wants, and that's what happened. So it's always good to have an informed decision. So today, like I said, we've got a funner show. We've got Transaction City. I'm going to bring that up, bring up the site in just a minute, but why don't you guys talk about what the history is? Because Transaction City, from my memory, I'm one of these guys that's been around in the crypto scene for over 10 years, and I seem to remember it being called Transaction Street at some point. So can you tell us what Transaction City is and a little bit about the history and about how you two are working together on this?
Yeah, sure. So definitely Transaction Street, where TX Street was very popular in the Web3 community way back in 2020, especially. Even Vitalik and other popular founders tweeted about it. And so I tried to connect with the TX Street founder, and I was able to connect with him. And we were in connection for like almost 3 years from 2020 2023, and I think last year he was saying that he wants to shut down TX Street. So I was like, okay, why are you trying to shut it down? So right now he has open sourced the code, and we are running the fork version, our own fork version, and we called it TX City. So we have expanded a lot. Uh, TX Street had, I think, 5 chains. So right now we have 10 chains running on TXCity with 15,000 monthly users, visitors coming to the website. So yeah, that's the history we have at TXCity. Kelvin is working with us as a game developer. And Kelvin, if you want to share your journey in TXCity.
Oh, okay. My journey in Tech City has been awesome. I reached out. I actually even knew TX Street before joining TX City, so it was quite coincidental. And it's a fun project, and I really enjoy it because it really helped demystify the blockchain. Coming from a game developer background, I really enjoyed it. So visualizing this data, just like database, was quite something that I would enjoy doing, and I thought about it. And about last year, in the end, we hooked up with Taha, and he brought me on board. And ever since, we've been having great ideas on how to grow TX City. And
That's
yeah,
great.
it's been fun. Yep.
Yeah, that's the power of open source. I'm glad that worked out so that Transaction City could live a new life, and we are going to let's go ahead and show that right now. We have you've done a little work for the Dash Incubator, getting some of the basic functionality working. So tell me if what I'm showing is good in just a minute here. Let's see. I think I just have to change the view here, I guess. Okay. And then, so y'all see Transaction City website right now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And do you see the Dash core wallet now as well?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and actually, I'm just going to see the URL again. I don't want Ethereum and Bitcoin. I want Dash. So we're going to go ahead and say Dash here. And we're going to say Bitcoin Cash on this other side. And then we'll launch this. This will give us an idea of what's going on in the two blockchains. So we're not going to show the two blockchains side to side the whole time here, just initially. So you can see. Why don't you guys show us? Tell us what we're looking at here.
Yeah, sure. So what you are looking right now is there are two different blockchains on the same screen. On the left, you can see Dash, and on the right, you can see Bitcoin Cash. So apparently, you can see the difference between Dash. The first difference itself you can see is the block size. So Bitcoin Cash has a larger block size than Dash. But if you see the transaction speed,
Sorry,
sorry, the
I'm
screen.
switching views
Yeah,
just real
yeah,
quick here, so that
yeah.
I
Okay,
can
no
show
worries.
you guys as well, because
Okay.
I forgot to bring up us as well. So go ahead and keep going.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So so first apparent visual is that Bitcoin Cash has larger block size than Dash, but you can see Dash has faster transaction speed, and even less transaction fees. So what we are doing here is we have contextualized on-chain data and demystified for any user to understand how blockchain works. So every character is shown as a transaction, and every bus is shown as a block. The houses you see on the left side on the green lanes, they are dApps running on the blockchain. So Dash has two dApps, two houses. One is, if you click on it, you can even click on the houses. You can see we have CoinJoin as a house, where you can see live transactions coming out of uh, the CoinJoin house, and also you get to see the recent transactions. For the same, we also have Private Send house. Private Send house will show private send transactions, and it has different character. The character for private send is like a hidden ninja, which was made by Kelvin, and for CoinJoin it is something like a bit flashy. So yeah, so this is what you are seeing, and you can also check the entire blockchain statistics on the bottom left for Dash, like at the bottom.
Yep.
If you click, yeah, so you get a bit more detailed info of a chain. You can also click on the bus to get the block details. If you, yeah, you can click on the bus to get all the block details. You can do show list to check the transactions which are pending in the block. So this is basically, you can call it a mempool visualizer to be more specific. And you can also search a transactions. You can follow a transaction. You can search a transaction. So if you click on Dash at top, on at the top menu, Dash, and if you click there, and you can see a search bar. So you can search or follow some specific addresses if you like to see them moving in real time across the street to the bus, and the transaction sitting there and waiting to cross the signal. So
Okay.
yeah, this is what you see.
I'm actually gonna, because I know you have this little banner that people can
Yeah,
contribute to Transaction City
contribute.
here. This is your address. This is also the address that you've been using to claim Incubator tasks as well, I noticed. So we'll use that
Yeah.
as an example here for the search that you mentioned, and see a little bit. So no recent activity was found, but if we follow this, what happens?
Okay, I think,
Or we click on it, I guess, that just brings up the block chair history and whatnot.
Explorer. Yeah,
Explorer.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's Explorer.
Okay. And then also we can bring up the stats for Bitcoin Cash, for example. Bitcoin Cash, just using this as an example because it's one of the closest chains to what we're trying to accomplish as well. And the bus is bigger, you said, because the block size is bigger. Now, I don't know if people have noticed, but when the bus goes off, that's when it goes to the blockchain down the street, it shrinks to a size that is actually the size of the block. So it's not like there's 8 megabyte blocks for Bitcoin Cash every 10 minutes or so, and it just, that's not exactly how it works. So when you look at Bitcoin Cash block bus, it looks big and looks a little oversized for what they're using right now. But blocks are the size of the blocks, regardless of how much the capacity is. But people will also remember that Dash actually increased the block size from 1 megabyte to 2 megabytes in one of our first governance decisions, just as a sign of like, we can make this decision very easily if and whenever we need to. So technically, I don't know if it looks like each of these segments is probably 1 megabyte in this case. So technically, Dash's bus would be two segments long. We could change that if we wanted to, but not something that's critical anyway to what's going on. But I do want to, I'm going to bring in the, actually, Calvin, I want to talk to you a little bit about, are you the one that's designing these characters? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Just a minute here. So you mentioned, Taha, you mentioned that each of these houses are dApps. And in our case, we customized this a little bit. These blocks aren't necessarily dApps on our base proof of work chain. They're types of transactions. So you can do fully customized whatever you want. Any kind of transaction that has any kind of characteristics you can represent as one of these houses. And so we have the coin join, what we're calling coin join transactions, and then what I'm calling private send transactions. I did want to explain that a little bit because people might not know the difference of those. Even in the Dash community, sometimes we use these terms synonymously, but I'm making a clear distinction between these two. I think in the core wallet, which we'll look at in a minute here, we'll actually do some live testing here in a minute. In the core wallet, these are called coin join mix and coin join send transactions. But for the sake of some people in the Dash community, like the term private send still. And so the coin join send is synonymous with a private send transaction, just for anybody that's wondering how we've named those. And did you guys have something to say? I think I might have cut you off.
No,
no, I think that. Yeah, so it's just that we are filtering out specific transactions from the houses. So coin join and private send transactions are those right now you can see coming out from the house. So.
Yep, and we will show one of those right now, I think. So you can see, just generally speaking, you can see there's a lot more coin join transactions happening, the mixing transactions happening. This light blue guy that goes in every now and then. We haven't seen any private send transactions. They're more rare, so we're going to make one on our own. And I've got a wallet that's basically got a clear history other than the fact that I sent 2 Dash to it. So in real time, we're gonna just do some coin joining. We'll start this coin join process right here, and we'll look at this transactions tab a little bit. I want to use this as somebody just did a private send. It looks like that one wasn't me, so that was just some network participant. If you look in the bus here, you can kind of see him hiding in there. You see all the other transactions that are just normal, not special transactions. Those are guys that look like me, blonde hair. They're all the same. And in the future, we'll have different transaction types. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the show, what our hopeful plans are going forward. But like I said, these are transactions. The yellow-haired guys are just normal transactions that aren't coin join or private send. They could be special in other senses. For example, there are a lot of op return transactions. If I click on this bus here, like you were saying earlier, and I show the list, we'll probably see some of these op return transactions. I'll just click on this one right now, just curious to see what this might be. it's a normal transaction, but it has an op return message on it. And so if you click in here, our old Insight Explorer doesn't parse this properly. So this one's not going to show anything, but I'm guessing this may be a Dash platform transaction for topping up an identity. So we'll talk about that a little bit in the future. We do want to open this transaction city up to Dash platform as well. So this would, instead of being a normal transaction, this would have a new house, and it would show the data that's associated with this transaction. Now there might not be any data. This is probably a top up identity create transaction is what I'm guessing based on this amount here, 0.0001 dash. So anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit more later. I want to look. We might also just get lucky and find some kind of a Maya transaction here. So I'm going to click on this one as well. See if we can't find one. That looks to be the same, a Dash platform one as well. I'm going to keep looking down this list. But anyway, if you saw a Maya transaction, what you'd see is when you click on it, here's that private send transaction, by the way. If you click on it, and you'd see an actual message in that op return field, and then we could decode it and see what that op return message was. Now on the Bitcoin Cash side, you can kind of see that as an example. I think some of these memo ones show actual op return data. Does it not? These also have op return data. So anyway, we're hoping to build out these houses more to have like Maya transactions, Dash platform transactions, and ultimately having a whole other street for Dash platform and have Dash platform transactions on this side, so you could see them going from one side to the other. And that would be a good, like in general, this is a good educational tool, like you were saying, Calvin. I think one of you were saying, it takes a little bit to wrap your head around what blockchains are, and this is a great educational tool, if nothing else. Even if you don't use it, as a functional block explorer, it's great to educate people and show visually what kind of things are happening on different blockchains. Have you just curious? These are the chains that you support. Have you had anybody else use this as some kind of educational tool in any setting that you know of, or what have these other chains done?
Recently, during the Token 2049 event at Singapore, at the Art and Science Museum, they had displayed Transaction City, especially the Bitcoin chain, to educate users or anyone at the museum, coming at the museum, and show like this is how a block looks and this is how transaction process happens at the chain level. So yeah, I mean, the whole idea behind TXCity is to promote on-chain literacy, and at the core we are definitely visualizers, but eventually we are also going to add more on-chain interactivity on TXCity. So you see you see the characters, right? The characters will be represented as wallets in future. So instead of giving user addresses with complex numbers, we give them a character. So, and with that character, they can create tags on the wallet. They can transfer, stake, swap, or do whatever on-chain activity they like to. And the reason behind this is to distinguish between addresses and contracts. That's the primary reason. And to make sure a user doesn't transfer it to a wrong address, to minimize or to mitigate the risk of transferring in to incorrect address, which has caused a lot of loss of funds previously. So yeah, this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to entirely change the UI UX dynamics for blockchain. instead of numbers and complex explorers, we just want to make it simple, demystify, contextualize to promote on-chain literacy.
Okay, well, that will be very interesting with our upcoming username feature that's on Dash platform. So that's good to hear. All right, so let's
So,
jump right into. Oh, go ahead.
all right, you had mentioned something about going from one street to the other. That's actually a feature that is in the works, and it's working for some chains. We are calling it a bridge. There's actually a bridge where the character drops out and then traverses the bridge onto the other side, visualizing a bridge transaction from one chain to another.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I think I've seen something about that, and we'll look forward to that for potential Dash platform integration. Um, I'm encouraging you all to actually submit your own proposal. I'll just get right into that part, so I don't forget it. But the hope is that in the incubator we've got we want to incubate projects and kind of push them to be having their own proposals as soon as possible. So this is I think perfect example of what we're trying to go for in the incubator is we've taken you from step 0 to 1 by having you do some of this work through the incubator, doing the coin join, the private send, just getting up to speed on what Dash is altogether. And yeah, I'm encouraging you to put in your own proposal to continue this work, doing more houses for transaction types, putting in doing Dash platform. So we're not ready with that yet, but that's the hope in the future. So if you like what you're seeing here, you can look forward to the proposal, the independent network proposal for Transaction City on that. But let's go ahead and let's do some transactions here. Let's start the coin join process. And when we do that, we're probably going to see a bunch of coin join transactions because this wallet has not been denominated yet even. So that's the first thing that we'll see in this transaction tab is when we click start coin join, the first thing it will do is it will take this 2 dash and it will say, let's break that down into, let's say, 9.1s, maybe it will have a 1 and 9.1s and then 9.001s, and let's just see what happens. So start coin join. Okay, so this is the first time I'm using this. I hope I remember this simple password because this is just kind of a demo wallet. So let's yeah, I gotta guess a few things here. This is my easy passwords. Okay, got it. So we're going to start. It's starting now, so we should start seeing some transactions here on the transactions tab. That was probably the create denominations transaction right there that just went in. And I guess we probably should have started this right at the beginning of the show because we're not going to have. It might take too long to actually get a balance big enough for. With enough mixes to do the private send. But I wanted to make this show a little bit of an educational tool as well, not just for Transaction City, but also for the mixing process and coin join and private send, just for the Dash community as well. So if we go into the settings here, you can see. And actually, before I do that, I'm gonna nix the Bitcoin Cash side for a minute here. So if we go here and just go single view, that will be fewer things to keep track of on the site here.
Yeah.
Go back to
just to give a disclaimer, we finished development yesterday.
Yeah.
So forgive us if there is some issue with transaction filter.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There are still a couple known issues, but I have tested this. It has worked in the past. You've tested it. It's worked. So we're going to go ahead and go down to. We're going to bump up the parallel sessions to 10, and we're going to bump the mixing rounds down to the minimum of just 2. just so that way it says that two rounds of mixes is sufficient for doing a private send, is what that means. And we'll just keep the target balance there, even though we don't have anywhere near that amount. And I like to bump these targets down to the minimum as well. This is just a personal preference. I've found that it works better for my use cases. Okay, so, and we'll enable multi-session as well. So we'll click OK there. And then if we go to the CoinJoin tab and look at the inputs, and then toggle show all CoinJoin coins, this will show all of our coins in the denominations that it's trying to do, and the mixing rounds, the confirmations, and so forth. So you can see when I first did the CoinJoin, started the CoinJoin process, it did a, let me go out of here for just a minute. It did a CoinJoin create denominations transaction, where it just took that 2 and it went down into those denominations that you just saw. Okay. And then there's making collateral inputs. So there are these different types, and we haven't broken down the transaction view to show all these different types. I don't think that's necessary, even, especially when we get into other transaction types. You don't want it to be too cluttered. But here's a mixing transaction. This would be picked up in those CoinJoin transactions from this house right here. And then, okay, so going back to the CoinJoin tab, inputs, show all coins, you can see here, this one has 1 mixing round. So once that number gets up to 2, it will be eligible for a private send. And some of these other coins are, you can see the 0.001s. The wallet creates a new address for every. I don't mind showing this, by the way, because I created a whole new profile just to be able to show this stuff online, because I think it's good to have people see the actual process. This isn't my personal balance. This is my personal wallet. Here are the 0.1s. And we'll just go click OK on this. Let's see. And then we'll go back to the overview tab for just a minute. And I usually see, okay, CoinJoin balance is still 0. And I usually see a progress bar somewhere here. So I'm not sure why that hasn't shown up yet. Let me go back into my settings. And I think I know what I need to do on CoinJoin, enable advanced interface. And these are still my settings, so those are good. So now when I go to the overview, I'll see this completion bar, and I'll see the submitted denominations that's currently happening in the wallet. And you can see, as we're talking, there's CoinJoin transactions happening. You can also see that my total balance has gone down a little bit. So this process does cost a little money to do. I mean, you pay for private transactions, and that makes sense. It's not much though.
So I think I can ask one question here, right?
Sure.
So to do a private send transaction, we have to first do a CoinJoin transaction. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. So CoinJoin is the process of the mixing. And I'm going to actually, I'll just take the time, since we're waiting for this anyway to get to 2 mixing rounds. There are some that have 2 already. This one, for example, has 2 rounds of mixing done. And because in my settings, I said that I'm considering 2 rounds of mixing sufficient for my privacy needs, then I would be able to send that coin as a private send transaction. Typically, what you want to do is you want to, in your settings, that to be higher. So in CoinJoin, let's see, in settings, I have a keyboard shortcut that I'm using for that. But if you wanted to know how to get there, you just go up to the dash core menu, and then settings, dash core preferences right here. and then go coin join. And these mixing rounds, you'd probably want this. I think this goes up to 16, no, 12. Yeah, 16. 16 is the maximum rounds. Like that's nobody's gonna be able to trace back 16 rounds. It's mathematically not very likely that you'll ever be able to trace that back. You can anyway. I won't get into the details of that, but I'm gonna bump it back down to 2 just so that we can demo what we're trying to demo here in a minute. So did that answer your question? So yes, you have to, when you start the mixing transactions, you have to have mixed coins before you can send those mixed coins. So that's the distinction that we're making between coin join transactions and private send transactions, or what this wallet calls coin join mixing versus coin join send, which we don't have any of yet because we're still in the process here. But you can see all these transactions happening. I do want to take a look at one of those. So let's go ahead and click on this right here. A lot of these are probably associated with our wallet. So DB5, actually it'd probably be easier to just go this way. Coin join mixing in process. Let's see, coin join mixing. Let's do this one right here because it's already confirmed. And we'll take a look at this transaction ID right here, 6480. Close that. And then we'll do a find on the page for that, 6480. I saw it pop up for a second. There it is, 6480. So let's click on that. It identifies it as a coin join transaction. We'll click on the details here. And this is what a coin join transaction looks like, where you have coins on the left side as your inputs, and here are your outputs. And this one has one confirmation. And some of these inputs are my wallet, and some of these are other people's wallets. And some of the outputs are my wallet, and some of the outputs are other people's wallets. So, but because they're the same amount, that's what obfuscates the transaction history there. So people don't know which wallets belong to other people. Obviously, only I know that as the wallet owner. Only the wallet owner knows those things. Okay, so that's what the coin join transaction looks like. Now let's check our status again and see in the wallet if we have 2 rounds sufficient to make a private send transaction or a coin join send. So let's go to coin join inputs. We do have plenty of inputs that have 2 or more rounds of mixing, so this is going to be fine. Let's go OK. Let's close this one for now and go back to the wallet. And then let's do a coin join mix. So I'm going to go to the receive, and I'm just going to put in a label called internal wallet. And then I'll create that receiving address. So I'm going to send to myself, but I'm going to do a coin join send or a private send transaction. So let's say, let's copy this address. And then we'll go to the coin join tab, and we'll put that as our destination. It pulls up the label that I gave, and let's send 0.12 as one output, and we'll do another recipient. Actually, we'll need another internal wallet. Let's say internal wallet 2, and create a new receiving address. Copy this. Okay. Coin join. And we'll put that in here, and we'll say 0.23 or 0.34, something like that. These could be any numbers, because when you're doing a send, when you're sending money to somebody, you need to send what they are expecting. So this might be an invoice or something for a spritz invoice or something. So they're going to have an exact amount that you need to send. And so you would just put that as your destination, whether you have multiple recipients or one recipient. The concept is the same. It's going to look much different on the blockchain than a coin join transaction because it is just a different kind of thing. So we're gonna choose to do these two. And we're gonna send mixed funds. It's gonna ask me for my passphrase. Do I remember it? Okay, and then it's gonna come up with a confirmation dialog, and it's gonna say, and by the way, this 0.12 plus 0.34 would be 0.46 total. And so we do have that balance right here. You see our balance our coin join balance. That's just specific to the coin join balance. We have more in that are not mixed as well. Obviously, we had 2 to start with. So we're going to go ahead and click send. And when we're going to click send, and then hopefully before I do that, I'm just going to actually refresh this just to make sure that everything's good. So we have 3 in the list now, and when we click send, we should have 4 soon. Okay, so there it went. I don't know if people saw it, but it's video, so you can find it. And then it should be in the bus now. It's right there. And if we click on this house, it's up here. Let's look at what address it was. You see in the transactions tab of the wallet that we have this coin join send transaction to our internal wallet. I'm going to click on that and let's see, 1623. And here's that 1623 transaction. And click on that. And this is what the transaction looks like on the blockchain. So you got these 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, and so forth. I think that, let's see, 0.46. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it rounded up. It sent 0.5. And that's how it works, is you don't get dirty change back. You end up spending a little bit more on that than you typically would. So the transaction was a total of 0.04. But yeah, again, that's the price you pay for privacy a little bit. So anyway, yeah, that's there you saw it. Everything's working on the visualizer, and hopefully that was somewhat educational for people both inside the Dash, you guys, and people inside the Dash community as well.
For sure.
And you saw that just confirm real quick there. So yeah, anything else to say about this, guys? I know that it's late where you are, Taha. It's after midnight, so I won't keep you too late. But any other comments or questions or anything from you guys?
Yeah, right now we are very excited to visualize Dash transactions, and it's really fun to watch, especially coin join and private transactions happening in real time. So I really would like to suggest the Dash community, to use TXCT more often. Follow your own addresses, follow transactions. So you can just go to the search menu, enter your address, and just keep following your transactions. Instead of watching boring explorers. So yeah, and you'll see more amazing features, more coming up on TXCT for Dash community, and for for the Dash platform as well. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to say it's kind of nice having these stats right here. I find that I often need to remember, like, what's the size of the blockchain, and this is a real fast way to just figure that out. Like, the blockchain size is 39 gigabytes right now, close to 40 gigabytes. And yeah, I find this to be not only a good visualizer, but just, yeah, good for this little stats page. You can also see the halving countdown. It's not exactly a halving in our case, but it looks like it's still accurate. I'm not sure where you're getting that data from, but it looks accurate to me. Yeah. This is
we
great.
are getting that we are getting that data from the Dash node itself. I think we are calculating the block the block average time to get that data.
Well, I know that Joel's going to like this for that educational aspect as well. He's the one that kind of got this project started in the incubator. So thanks to him for that. I think this is good. And yeah, let's look forward to your proposal coming up to add more features. I personally would love to see a Maya house, just to see all the Maya transactions happening as well. And platform obviously is going to be very cool to see that bridging between one blockchain to the other blockchain, and be able to track your transactions like that. So yeah, Calvin, you're going to have to create some cool new images for all of our other purposes, hopefully in the future.
Awesome.
All right, thanks guys. You're going to see the infinite thing here for a minute here. Thanks for joining in on the Incubator Week. Let me just check and see if there are any other questions from people. People said definitely cool to watch. Thanks. Yeah, I haven't seen One Punch Saga here before, so thanks for joining in there. And we'll see you next time.
Awesome.
Yeah.